Hey, it's me, the guy that has this stereotypical color of sheets that guys have all the time. and someone that has lighting that makes his head look like a solar eclipse is going on. But you know what? I kind of poke fun at those things because you know what? I think, and this is going to sound so first world problems over here, which don't be calling places nowadays third world countries because they don't use that term anymore. I wanted to come on here and make a video. I guess just like maybe ramble really quickly is that, you know what? I feel like posting things to social media, it does something that I've thought about, posted on my Instagram. Come on, follow me. This head and heart. But I think this is going to sound like a very first world problem, but I think like pictures going out, clothes, a lot of things in the world bring in to mind the image of who you are and the impact that you have. Um, you know what? Even thinking about making this short video that I hope it's short is I was thinking about wearing some shirt that was like nicer, but I was like, you know what? F it. I'm just wearing the one that I that I wear to bed. Um, a little exposure therapy of going to Target wearing this thing the other night, and yeah, this thing's ratted out. I don't know if you guys can see this, but like I have like a hole here from leaning over a a counter that had a candle burning. um Not one of my brighter moments. There's a pun there somewhere. I'm not sure where. But I don't know. I think there's a lot of things that bring again just the image of ourselves to the forefront. A bunch of things. I know that's happened to me throughout my life. I see it in other people. I see it in other people. You know what? Here's a funny story. I had an idea of wanting to go around and like interview people, and I saw some girl that tried to match with me on a dating app. I met her through a friend, and I saw her out, and we were talking, and we had a pretty good conversation. And I had my camera with me, the one I'm using to film this, and I just like had it with me. I wasn't sure what I was gonna do, and I saw her and I didn't match with her on the dating app. I was like, oh man. I was just like, oh, I can't. There were just some things that I was like, it probably won't work out in my head. And what was it? Oh, I asked her if I could interview her, and long story short, like she went from being like, oh yeah, sure, you can like interview me, to like me taking on my camera and setting it up, and you could tell that she just got cold feet, and it was something that I could tell like the closer that I got to kind of interviewing her, it went from being like, "Oh yeah, like I want to oh actually I have to go somewhere." And it's not to say that people can't feel that way, but it more show more, more see, even messing up right there, I'm like, "Oh, now I sound like you know, you got to love like messing up. These are two insults that people love to say. Like you mess up saying something and people go, "Oh, did you have a stroke?" You know, Lord knows how many times that joke's been said. There's been someone within earshot that's actually had a stroke and they've been like, that's fucked up. Or people love to say, like, if someone's dancing Oh yeah. Oh, are they having a seizure? And like, as a resident funny person of the last year of my life, is that I look at those people and I go, you are so not funny. I go, you are. I think less of you as a person because sure you're making fun of like people, of course, but uh, on the other side of that coin is that joke is trash. How many times has that joke been said? But anyways, I just messed up and I need to be calm in that. But within asking to interview her, you could see how the image of herself kind of came to the forefront of her mind. And yeah, I think kind of like posting stuff kind of in video form, pictures, whatever. Um, it's hard because a lot of people say this. A girl in a Bible study said this to me once. Her very much so on the uh, very important end of social media being very important to her is that is that people like that post things to social media, you could just tell it's like very staged. And or for some people you can tell it's pretty staged. And when something's staged, it's inauthentic. And then when something's inauthentic, it kind of makes you feel weird. It makes you feel like the person as you're walking through Costco that tries to like strike up a friendly conversation with you to get you to sign up for AT&T. And you're like, "No, dude, I love you. I love you. But like I'm just trying to get in and out of here before I get ran over like Mufasa did in Lion King, honestly." Yeah, dude, rest in peace Mufasa. Dang, my guy got trampled like people did throughout like all the years of Black Fridays that happened with me growing up. But anyways, back to it is that yeah, you could just tell that there's some level of being like disingenuous and what have you, and that's hard. I also have a theory, and this isn't to talk bad about all of Christianity by any means, but I just have a theory that that is why churches are sometimes hard for people. I think I may be projecting in this moment, but people go to church and try to act Christ-like and or try to act like God, and like they're nowhere near it. Um, I think like if you follow me on Instagram, and this isn't to give myself praise, but like I have thought so little of myself in my life that like I'm trying to come back up to buoyancy. I think that may be hard for some people that are like have been up here their whole entire life and been like, oh hey, I need to kind of come back down off the Empire State Building. You are King Kong. You're scaring people. Put the girl down. But uh, yeah, yeah. I say that on my social media all the time, and like you know, as much as ironically this tries to sound like a sermon, I am like the embodiment of this shirt. Um, bunch of holes, bunch of holes. Also, going over my fit in like the opposite way of what social media does is that I bought these jeans and I think that they're like too baggy. But uh you ever like rip off the tag and you're like, maybe I could have taken those back. But no, we're rocking with them. We're rocking with them. Let me see here. Yeah, this is just like my attempt at kind of bridging the gap of I don't know, using my gifts, trying to be some type of light in this world. Um, oh yeah, okay. I'm gonna say what that girl said in my Bible study really fast. uh, I don't feel too bad necessarily saying this because I'm not saying her name or what have you, but like we were just kind of going around and just talking about the highs and lows, and she talked about like another couple that she knew, and she was like, "Oh, it's just so hard for me to see them post happy things because I know that they just fight all the time." And like in my head, I was trying to like take her in at where she was, and there was another side of me that was like, "Dang, like social media is your life," and then be like, what do you want this couple to do? Like get on IG live and be like fighting with each other? So yeah, I was like, wow, I people do get addicted to social media though, gosh. But yeah, there is just a couple thoughts. Even within making this video, I have another video that I want to make that I was working on, that I am still working on. And man, this is hard for some people that they're artistic and just they kind of overthink things. They want things to like be perfect. And yeah, that's hard. That's hard. Ooh, I wonder if I could say this story really fast. This is ending on a high note. Is that I was dating this girl. I was dating this girl. Here, going from story to story, talking about dating apps to dating this girl. But so I was dating this girl, and oh boy, is that a story for another time. God be with me. It's a juicy one, kids. Gather around. But so I was dating this girl for a while and having a fun time with her and whatnot. And I planned a date for us, like I had been doing to that point. And I it's something that like I'd been wanting to do for a while. And there's just some things that like you feel better kind of doing on a date than maybe kind of going by yourself to some degree. To fight back against that, I go places by myself all the time. Sometimes I go to bars and I just like stand there and like look at the TV, and I'm just like, I don't care if anyone thinks it's weird that I'm here by myself. I'm like, me, myself, and I partying right now. But anyways, back to it is that I was dating this girl, planned a date. This thing that I think is probably better to do on a date is we went to go do pottery. We went to go do pottery. And so we're kind of going through the steps, and like they give you this piece of clay, you put it on this wheel and it's spinning and whatnot. Trying to recreate the scene from Ghost. Uh but with more people in the classroom, which would have made it, I don't know, maybe more interesting or more awkward. I don't know. But um really performance theater is what I was going for. But anyways, so like I'm making like my little clay pot, and so is she, and I was kind of doing good. I was doing pretty good. And then towards the end, my my clay pot just looked off, like it looked off, and it like just bugged me. It bugged me. I was like, oh gosh darn it, and I had the teacher, the instructor come over. There was someone instructing us like these different steps and whatnot. And I had her come over and I was like, "Oh yeah, like, my clay pot kind of seems like a little lopsided or whatever was wrong with it." And she was like, "Oh, okay, like this is what you can do. Like here, do this." And I was like, "Oh, okay." And she was like, "Well, do you want to do it or do you want me to do it?" And I was like, "You do it." I was like, "You do it." And so she sat down and started fixing my clay pot that I was making. And I went from feeling like, oh, I wanted her to help me fix it, to having her fix it for me, to the feeling of, oh, now it's kind of not my clay pot anymore. And that's kind of an analogy of life to some degree. There's some lesson in there. I think that's what kind of art helps a lot of people do. And I don't know, this is kind of art too. So, anyways, thanks so much for watching. Appreciate it. See ya.